YouTube play of the daytime, guys. We're back. PPS here. 2 spots for today's action. I love this card today. We got some of my favorite conferences in action. We got some big games. We got some lower level games. We also got some games that should be very exciting. Obviously, Houston in action today. My boys from Kentucky in action today. I think it's going to be a fun slate. If you could, hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to start seeing 40, 50 likes on these YouTube play of the day spots. I'm hoping we can get there. Coming off another sweep, guys. Coming off another sweep. Florida, Kentucky first half over 79.5. Big number does get there. Really awful shot making and still got there. A lot of fouls. I thought when I was watching the game that didn't get called. End up still getting there. Shout out Kentucky for just being wagons first half there. Northern Colorado decides to drop 52 in the first half. Easiest cash of the day for sure. Moves us to 29-12, guys. Almost 17 units again. I just really appreciate all the support, all the nice comments I've been getting on these. I know I haven't seen you guys in 4 days. I'm on YouTube with obviously the pass the prop, all that work. Tough, and yesterday's slate was obviously garbage. So really excited for today's action. If you could, again, please hit that like button. It does go a long way. Into conference season, sitting at 16 units. I'm really happy with that. So let's get it started, guys. Let's get it started. Let me pull up my screen here. We'll go over to DraftKings here. These are going to be my 2 spots today. I believe you can get Kentucky at -115 first half there. Those are going to be my 2 spots, just so you guys have them. First one, let's start with Kentucky. I'm going back to them. I'm going to go back to them first half at home against Missouri, a Missouri team that in step-up games has been getting mauled, right? They have 41 to Kansas at Kansas in the first half. Gave up 49 to Illinois. They gave up 40 to Georgia in the first half in those road spots. And Georgia was at home, and they still gave that up. Now you're traveling to Rupp Arena here. You're in Kentucky. This Kentucky team is very, very good. Again, I talk about first half points scored per game. They're at 44.7 first half points scored per game. Fantastic three-point shooting team, top 5 in the country in that aspect here. We're looking at this Missouri spot. I really don't like any of the matchups they're going to have here. You look at these games where they've got sped up, and they're willing to do it, right? Kentucky's going to play extremely fast. 18th fastest pace in the country, top 10 offensively, create a lot of open ball turnovers, fantastic free throw shooting team, good at shooting the 3 ball. I think this is the biggest test for this Missouri team outside of that Kansas game in Kansas where they played them well. I think this is a spot where we've seen them give up 90 to Seton Hall. We've seen them give up 90 to Illinois. They just lost to Georgia. Now you're going to travel to Kentucky. I just think this is a really bad travel spot for them. I think that Kentucky is going to be absolutely rowdy here in this spot. I want to be on the side of the home team in this spot here. And they're going to be their first SEC game of the season at home. So you travel to Florida. Massive win there, 87-85. End up opening up as a pick 'em, ends up being 3.5-point dogs, and Kentucky finds a way to win. That was really gritty. I know you can think that this could be a letdown spot, but I don't think you're going to get a letdown spot from Kentucky at their first home game of the season for conference. So I think they come out excited. I think they come out and just absolutely lay the hammer down early and often in this spot. Again, if you want to look at numbers on what they've been scoring, first half last game obviously flew over that number. Kentucky only ended up with 37, but the full total goes there. They did shoot very, very, very poorly in that game in that first half. Louisville, they scored 53. Louisville does not play that fast either, so that's a good comp there. Kentucky scored 45 against Illinois State at home. And if you want to go to that North Carolina game, they scored 40 there. And again, I think all of those teams outside of Illinois State are better than this Missouri team. Missouri just really hasn't been. They lost a lot of their studs last year. And I think I'm going to roll with Kentucky here until the wheels fall off in these first halves. So you're going to be hyped up. First game of conference season at home. Should be exciting. riding Kentucky here. Again, dude, this team is so deep. These guards should just dominate these games, man. They're just so good. You got Reeves, who's just makes so many tough shots. You got Trey Mitchell in the paint, which I think is a huge addition. Reed Shepherd still over 50% from three, almost 55%. Dillingham, 41%. This is just going to be in my opinion, a mauling here. And I think this total is warranted, and I think Kentucky's going to absolutely roll. So sign me up for some Kentucky. I'm going to roll with them again. Shout out John Calipari for just continuing to put out good squads here. I think Trey Mitchell is going to have a huge game tonight. So Kentucky, first half team total over 41.5. Going to another first half. Again, guys, I've seen this happen more often than not where these first halves kind of go quick and then they kind of slow down because obviously they're getting the conference and you want to win. You want to control these games. So I'm going to go with first half over 73. BYU facing off against Baylor. Second game for Baylor in their new arena. Supposedly supposed to be pretty nice and pretty intimate. You can get very good home court advantage here. I think we're going to see pace, a little bit quicker pace than what we've expected to see from these guys, just because you're going to see some big time guard play in these games, right? You're going to see you got Jacoby Walther, 15 a game, Ray J. Dennis, shout out Toledo, Langston Love there for Baylor. I like it when they have all of these guards that are as good as they're going to be rolling out there because those are the guys who are going to want to run. These are the guys who are going to dictate the pace, right? If you have a team that's going to be trying to, maybe be more like Purdue, where it's Zach Edey centric, he's 300 pounds, man. You got to wait for him to get down the court, right? You look at this BYU team, Robinson, 15 a game, Nell, 13 a game, Waterman, 11 a game, Johnson, 10 a game, Saunders, 10 a game. Team averages 88 points per game. I think this is going to be an absolute show early on. The reason I say that is, again, I told you that this is Baylor's second home game in this new arena. And in that first game, Cornell, obviously one of the best first half teams in the country. We saw 100 points in the first half, guys. 100. And the reason I think this is nice, too, is because you look at how these teams play. BYU is going to shoot a ton of threes. Cornell only shot 8 for 24 from three and scored 79 points, 42 in the first half, right? 17 free throw attempts, right? We see fouls from this Baylor side. Baylor had 21 fouls against the Cornell team. BYU is going to be driving and kicking, getting a lot of three-point shots up. I know this is a very good buy low spot for BYU just because of how bad they looked in that last game. Three ball wasn't falling. And if we could see a team like Cornell run that score up a little bit and get almost to 80, BYU is a team that I want to back. I want to continue to back these guys. And I get it. They didn't play well in that first game, but BYU, 40 points per game in the first half is their average there. Baylor, 3 spots ahead at 40.8, 47.3 points per game at home in the first half here. I think this would be a fun matchup. Like I said, guard galore here. Both teams top 50 in the country in three-point shooting. Baylor's actually number 1. Good free throw shooters across the board. And BYU is a team I want to back. So I want to back this in the first half. I may play the full game, but I really want to play this first half while these teams are running and gunning, right? The second half, we do see a little slower. Yes, we do get the fouls at the end, but I really like this first half spot. I think this is way too low for this type of game. And I think Baylor's going to come out running and gunning, just like I said before. On the season numbers, not great for pace. Baylor 183, BYU 111. But you guys got to remember, BYU is blowing a lot of those teams out of the water. Baylor did not have a great early non-conference teams outside of that Auburn game, but they had Gardner-Webb, Kansas City, John Brown, Oregon State, right? But when they play a team that's kind of pacing up like them, that Florida game comes to mind, right? 186 points, right? They gave up 88 to Michigan State, right? A 148 spot in that Duke matchup. And in that first half, the shooting woes were there. So I think this is going to be a fun game. I think this is going to be just quick. BYU shooting threes, Baylor shooting threes, long rebounds, pushing that fast break tempo, wanting to get those points before the defenses are locked in. So BYU first half over 73, and Kentucky first half team total over 41.5. So thank you guys. I know it was a little longer than usual. Pretty hyped, obviously, about where we're at so far this year. 29-12, 16.7 units. Please hit that like button, guys. I really, really appreciate all your support. And we'll get it going. Be back tomorrow and ready to cash some more tickets with you. So have a good one, and best of luck tonight.